You're standing outside a station. Google Maps is spinning like it's possessed. You're trying to figure out which direction is north, but the buildings are blocking the sun. Your phone is at 7%, and your friend is saying, I think it's this way, with zero evidence. And this is the moment where people start making bad decisions. But Japan is a system country, and once you understand the system, Japan becomes one of the easiest countries in the world to navigate. Hi everyone, it's Abby from PicTour, and today let's learn how not to get lost in Japan. So let's understand Japan first. Before you come here, you should know the basic ways to get around. Those would be train, bus, taxi, and on foot. And obviously other methods exist, but those are what we're focusing on. So if you haven't watched my video on IC cards, you'll want to check those out because that will allow you to pay on most public transport. When it comes to taxis, they are affordable compared to many Western countries. They're safe, they will not rip you off, and they're able to easily look at the Google Maps on your phone if you don't know where exactly you're going. So that leads me to Google Maps. In my opinion, this is the best general app for navigating Japan. There are some other useful apps, of course, for different things, but this is 99% of the time what I use for navigation by foot, car, or public transit. It's incredibly convenient. You can download areas of cities offline if you're worried about losing internet, and it spares you from just needing to download a million apps that you aren't already somewhat familiar with. Lastly, there is English signage very frequently in Japan to guide your navigation. Train stations, airports, bus stops, especially in bigger cities, will almost always have at least some info available in English. So now let's jump into the tips you should know to unlock the system here in Japan. So before you even leave your hotel, before you go out for the day, take 2 minutes to prepare. This is the part people get lazy about and they don't want to do, even though it will end up making their life so much easier or possibly save their behind. So save your hotel on Google Maps and screenshot the info. Don't try to just remember it, save it. Also screenshot in English and Japanese the hotel name, the address, the nearest station, and the exact exit number you use to get to your hotel. And everyone in your group should have these screenshots saved in case someone's phone dies. If you aren't sure about these things, the staff at your hotel will surely be more than happy to make a little note of these things for you to have. Although Google Maps does have a little place you can tap that will have the option to see and hear the address in Japanese. And this is also what I usually show the taxi driver if we both have no idea where we're going. Also, download offline maps if you can. I mentioned this earlier, but internet is not always stable underground or inside big stations, as well as in massive crowds of people. And you might have signal at street level, and then you just go underground and your phone emotionally shuts down. So offline maps can save you. Next, use Street View in advance. So this is one of my favorite tricks when I travel anywhere. And I also rely on it when I do a lot of research on locations beforehand, especially for even making my videos. So it works. Before you go somewhere, use Google Street View and look at what your hotel entrance looks like, what the area around it looks like, what convenience stores are nearby, where the station entrances are. I do this for all the hotels I go to all the time, often before I even book something, just so I can know what the vibes are. And it's also so much easier to find a place when you already know what it looks like. Also, it's kind of fun. It's like spying on your future self. So next, understand the city's overall layout. Before heading to your destination, take a look at the city you're visiting and understand the general layout. Cities have different types and patterns. So city layout types you'll often see in Japan would be grid-style cities like Manhattan or here Kyoto. These have straight roads. They're very predictable structure-wise, and so it's easier to rebuild and expand. You have port cities like Yokohama or Kobe. These were, of course, built around trade, international access, and then coastline geography. And then you have radial cities like Paris or here Tokyo. So roads and railways spread outwards like a spider web. And many cities will be mixed. So Tokyo is kind of like a castle town and a radial city and a port city and a good luck city. So next, look for waterways. So historically, waterways were transportation highways. I often think of Kyoto as this is on this side of the Kamogawa and this is on the other side of the Kamogawa. Next, look at railway systems. Ask yourself, is the railway system loop-shaped? Is it cross-shaped? or is it basically just one long line? Because this will change everything. If there's a loop, trains are often super convenient for moving around the city. If it's not a loop, taxis and buses suddenly become way more practical. And this is not a travel hack, it's geometry. My Sharpie, sir. Thank you. It is time to finally give this Daruma his other eye. So this was my 50,000 subscribers Daruma, and thank you very much. You guys earned him his other eye. So let's fill it in. Yay! Now he has 2 eyes.
Too small.
The next Daruma, sir. Thank you. Next. All right, this is for 75,000 subscribers. And what kind of eyes should I do? 75,000 subscribers. Here she is. I don't know where to put this. Next up, Google Maps, but use it like an adult. So Google Maps is amazing, but you need to read it properly, and a lot of people don't. So maybe they look at the station name and then the blue line, and then they panic when reality happens. So here's what to check every single time. At stations, always check the exit numbers. I cannot emphasize this enough. In Japan, the station is not the destination. The exit is the destination. Otherwise, you can easily wander around, lost, confused. So don't just say, I'm getting off at Shibuya Station. Say, JR Yamanote Line, Hachiko Gate, exit A2. And that's how you survive. And then train details. Do not give up just looking at the station name. When traveling by train, also check the train line, the platform number, and the train's final destination. And of course, the local versus express. So if you are unfamiliar with trains here often have a local, which stops at pretty much every single station, an express, which maybe skips some, and then oftentimes something like a rapid express, or like a special express, which skips a lot. And so if you choose the wrong one, even though they are all in the same area, probably with the same destination, your options would then be to skip your stop, perhaps, or to take the slowest route known to humanity. So make sure you pay attention to not only the train that goes to Kyoto Kawaramachi, but that this is the train that is the Rapid Express that goes to Kyoto Kawaramachi. And if Google Maps gives you a route with too many steps, consider a taxi. If your route looks something like current location, walking, bus, departure station, train, arrival station, bus, walking destination, maybe reconsider, because waiting for buses, transferring, walking, taking a train, climbing stairs, all of this can take way longer than it looks. And sometimes a taxi is actually cheaper than the time and stress, especially if you're in a group. Or it's a better deal emotionally. And then bus directions. So this is a trap. Buses are great in Japan, but buses are honestly the easiest way to accidentally go the wrong direction, and I myself was once a frequent victim of this mistake. This is especially because sometimes there's 2 buses with the same number, and one goes one way and one goes the other. And you need to think about direction and road sides. So Japan drives on the left, and you need to consider which side of the road your bus stop will be on. Near intersections, there may be multiple bus stops that look like they're going in the same direction, but they are not. So pay attention to the bus number listed on Google Maps and the bus numbers listed on the bus stop. So just like trains, buses often have a final destination. So just like you would check, this train goes to Kyoto Kawaramachi, check not only bus number, but final destination if you can. Also, pay attention to the bus number on Google Maps and then the bus numbers listed on the bus stops, because oftentimes there are just different bus stops all in the same area, and you might be at the wrong bus stop, and you need to be at the bus stop 20 feet away. So if you're waiting for bus 80, make sure that there's a sign in front of you that says 80, because that sounds stupid, but I'm also a victim to that mistake sometimes, so pay attention. Next, stations are multi-level, and that is why you feel crazy. So maybe this is something you don't expect, but Japanese stations are not flat spaces. They're literally like levels in Mario. You're going to be going up and down and up and down. They often have basement levels, underground corridors, shopping areas inside the station, and exits that are extremely far apart. So even if you know the direction on the surface, you can walk underground in the opposite direction very easily without realizing it. And so this is why inside stations, exit numbers matter more than just direction. And by the way, there's a setting in Google Maps called wheelchair accessible, which tries to avoid stairs and prefers elevators. So use this as needed, but I will note that if you do not need it, don't turn it on, because sometimes, very unfortunately, the wheelchair accessible exit very far. So sometimes maybe just taking the stairs is a better option. So how to read signs properly. A lot of tourists think I can't read Japanese. Japanese buildings are confusing, but blaming the environment does not help. So the real reason is lack of experience. If you pay attention, you'll definitely start to notice how clearly marked most things are. So once you're on the train platform, check your final destination, because the same line can go in different directions. So don't obsess over your stop name. So Google Maps will show you platform number, direction, and it will often show you the best train car. So Google Maps is not sponsoring me, by the way, but they often show which train car is the best for the easy exit, the quick transfer, and less walking. And if you have time, check it. This can save you from running through the station like a prey animal. Once you're on the train, please don't completely tune out. Pay attention to the direction, check the English announcements, of which there are usually very many, and check the screens, which often cycle through languages. When you're on the train, Google Maps will also show you the travel time between stations, and often it will even tell you 2 stops left, 1 stop left. So please lock into that. You are probably not yet on the level of Japanese people who are able to fall asleep and wake up exactly 2 seconds before their station, which you will witness quite frequently. So orientation after you get off the train. One very, very helpful thing is, of course, to use landmarks. So notice things like rivers, bridges, obvious buildings, department stores, towers. This will help you reorient later. This will also help you with very important things like toilets and trash bins. So if you're wandering around an area, it helps to know where there's a good bathroom. And bathrooms, I usually swear by department stores. Usually they're in the basement floor of the department store or on the 2nd or 3rd floor of it. Usually quite clean, quite nice. And then trash bins. So these are rare on the street, if you haven't heard that from every Japan influencer in the world. Not a lot of trash cans, but you will usually find them inside stations, near vending machines, although they're taking some of those away, and then inside convenience stores. Also, more and more outside temples and shrines, they're putting trash cans for people, since you don't want to bring food and drink inside the shrines and temples. Another tip that will usually carry you in the generally correct direction would just be to follow the flow of people. So in major tourist areas, groups of people are often heading in the same directions. If you're unsure, watching where most people are going can help. Not always. Sometimes they're all just going to a Starbucks, but it can still be a clue. By the way, this is kind of a big one. How to ask for directions in Japan. I see this a lot, especially from people who maybe haven't spent a lot of time learning a second language. Excuse me, sorry, can you help us find this cafe that we're trying to go to? We went to it yesterday, and it was somewhere near Shibuya Station, and we just can't seem to find it. It's called so-and-so, and I think it's on the map, but it's leading me down the street, and I don't really understand how. Imagine if someone came up to you, and they started talking like that in a different language. Okay? You'd be like, what in the world is happening? Keep it simple, okay? Does this train go to Shibuya? Which way is the east exit? Is Nishiki Market this way? Point at the map. Show your phone. They're not stupid, but maybe they're just not super fluent in English. But they're often very, very willing to help you. The meme is that you ask someone for help here, and they literally take you all the way to your destination, because that's how willing Japanese people are usually to help foreign tourists. You're like a cute little baby deer. So getting lost in Japan doesn't mean you're bad at traveling. It just means you haven't learned how the system works yet. But once you start to find the patterns, your trip becomes way more enjoyable, and you get to spend less time arguing over Google Maps and more time doing what you came here to do. So, hope you enjoyed this video. Like and subscribe, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye!